Well, folks, things are not looking good for the new Borderlands movie. We're on the eve of the release, and it's getting absolutely review blasted by the critics. Now, the question of the day is, does that matter at all? Time will tell, and I'm sure our criticless users will let us know. Also, we've got news about Michelle Pfeiffer being a part of a larger franchise and being a leading role. And we've got some Toxic Avenger news that I missed a few days ago, but I definitely want to touch on. And Jenna Ortega is making sure to keep things hella racist. Now, as always, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff, because it helps us out a ton and helps this channel grow faster. If you want to keep on top of the newest entertainment news, then this is a channel to follow, because I am covering the things that no one else is. Now, also, make sure to visit criticless.com or find us in the app stores, Android or Apple. We are an entertainment reviewing platform where you can go and let us know what you've been watching lately. And if you plan on watching Borderlands, then make sure to go ahead and drop us a review after you check it out. Now, on to the news. What is going on with this Borderlands film? Well, basically, like I said, it is getting review blasted by the critics. They are tearing this thing up and it's not looking good. Now, I've mentioned before, and I think I did in the video yesterday, that it's kind of looking like this movie was kind of sent out to die. It's out here at the end of the summer, and it just, everything about it seemed a little odd. Now, granted, there was bad buzz once they released the casting news, because there are actors like Jamie Lee Curtis playing characters that just don't track and line up with what came before it in this video game series, which this is based off of. Now, basically the news here is that the critics' reviews were opened up, and right now it was sitting at a 0. We are currently, let me refresh because they're constantly coming in here, but we are at a 3% right now with 33 critic reviews. I think there's like one good one right now. Granted, if you know me or anything about me, then you know that I don't trust the critics. And when I see something like this, quite often it makes me think this might be the best movie ever, because these guys are freaking idiots. But I'll hold back on that claim for now. We will see. But basically, this article breaks down some of the reviews that have been dropped. And when this article came out, there were only 23, so we're at 10 more. There was at a 0 before. We're at a 3% now. And basically, they're saying that they were indicating that it was generally unfavorable reaction to the movie. And here it says, basically dubbed Borderlands as borderline unwatchable, adding it may not claim the title of the worst blockbuster of the year. That honor remains reserved for Madam Web, but it certainly disappoints in its lack of entertainment value. Now, that's where I find it a little suspect. We will see. We have even talked about adding an entertainment value slider to Criticless when you are leaving a review. I could even show you how that would work, but basically we have theme sliders down here where when you're dropping a review, you can rate things based on violence, language, all that stuff. And we have talked about adding an entertainment value, because the movie could be terrible. I could come in here, give this movie an extremely low, rating itself, but then max out the entertainment value because it is entertainment. Entertaining. So the question is Borderlands actually entertaining while being bad? Because that is a thing. That is definitely possible, and I'm honestly game for that. If it's a bad movie, but I still have fun, hell yeah, give it to me. I'll watch it. But basically, they are trying to claim at this point that this movie is dead on arrival, that because the critics have bombed it, that this is going to be terrible. Now, the interesting thing is, and what we have seen many, many times, and the reason that I built Criticless is simply for the fact that we have seen situations like this where this audience score will be extraordinarily low, or the critic score will be extraordinarily low, and then the audience score itself will be astronomically high, or at least decent in some range, or at the very least like a 50% or something. Also, it's not to mention the binary scale of Rotten Tomatoes, which is just thumbs up, thumbs down, you either like it or you don't. That is an completely ignorant scale. It makes no sense. No one rates things on a scale where there is no gray area, because everything has gray area. That's just a fact of life, and this site is stupid, and everyone knows it. It has just kind of become a joke that we all laugh at, not that it actually has any inherent value, because these critics don't align with the general public. They've already given it a critics consensus saying that it's glitching out in every department. Borderlands is a balderdash. So I don't know. I don't trust this. Granted, one of the things that does make me worry is that one of the only positive reviews, actually the only positive review, is Grace Randolph, who is a YouTuber. And if you know anything about her, then you know that she likes really, really bad stuff, and she has terrible opinions. So that has me a little bit hesitant, to say the least. So we will see. Being that she's the only positive review, that's not promising, but Nerdotic posted about this and was like, oh man. And, there's been some Twitter interactions about all of this. And I'm interested to see what all of these guys think. I regularly disagree with them, so it makes no real difference to me. We're all allowed to have our own opinions here, but I am curious to see what happens with the Borderlands movie. And I'm going to see it in 2 hours. So I'll be able to let you know fairly soon. So make sure to check out our review on Critical's Cast, because we will be reviewing it tonight, dropping it first thing in the morning. And I might even go ahead and kind of tease what our thoughts are. But after we see it. But I am, tentatively excited, at the very least, to watch a dumpster fire. But hopefully it's good. I want it to be good. I liked this franchise. Granted, like I said yesterday, the game peaked at game 2, but that doesn't make a difference. The movie can stand on its own. Hopefully it's good, or at least fun to look at or laugh at. So we will see. Time will tell. Now, next piece of news here is about Michelle Pfeiffer. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, this is kind of interesting. And basically, it's that Yellowstone is getting another spinoff. But the thing is that this was initially called 2024. Now, if you know some of the Yellowstone spinoffs, they're based on years, and they follow, different points in time within this area of the United States. And this, the Yellowstone Ranch or things surrounding it. So this is sounding like it's going to be an actual modern adaptation, so a technical, actual spinoff of the Yellowstone proper show versus a prequel. And the interesting thing about this is that there's more rumors to this, being that it's not just Michelle Pfeiffer. Now, granted, she is confirmed to be headlining the show, so she's going to be one of the lead characters. But they're also saying that it's sounding like Kurt Russell is also going to be involved with this, and Patrick J. Adams, who I'm not entirely sure who that is, but Kurt Russell definitely, this could be really big news if they announce that he is also going to be in the show, and that it's going to be modern day. But what they're saying the logline is the series is a heartfelt study of grief and human connection following a New York City family in the Madison River Valley of central Montana. So this is following a New York family that has moved to Montana. Now, I do find this an interesting approach because of what this world, the Yellowstone world, focuses on. And, there is some inherent backlash to outsiders within this world, and I was just recently in this area, and I can tell you for sure that it is being completely taken over by people from out of the area, but not just people from out of the area, people that don't fit in within the area and want it to become something else. I saw it firsthand. I can't agree to it and say that it is definitely happening that way. So I'm curious as to how they depict these New York City family coming into Montana, because I feel like this isn't going to be loved as much as the original series, potentially, because of the fact of what a stigma these types of people have within this area, because it's definitely the case. We're dealing with a lot of similar things in North Carolina. We are getting flooded with with people from New York and other parts of the country who just kind of want to change it and not keep it, the way that the South has kind of been, and the way of life that we're used to. So I am interested to see what happens with this spinoff and what the reception is. Michelle Pfeiffer is pretty awesome. Obviously, she's always been a smoking hot fox, so we're all down for a little bit of Michelle Pfeiffer, and then you throw freaking Kurt Russell in there, and I mean, this is like, a heck of a duo. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this new show called Madison, the Yellowstone spinoff. Now, next piece of news. All right, so this one, it slipped past me big time, partially just because it sounds like Bounty in the Comics is the only people who really reported on this, but I am interested in it. So if you did not know, they were doing a Toxic Avenger remake, and it was starring Peter Dinklage. Now, that was a little bit that seemed odd, just due to Peter Dinklage and him being the Toxic Avenger. If you aren't familiar with the Toxic Avenger, it's a character from the 80s who was part of the Trauma universe, and these were just very cheaply made, over-the-top, hyper-gory, very niche, just kind of edgelord movies, before edgelord was a thing. And I loved Toxic Avenger back then, when I was a kid, in my teenage years, and I watched the cartoon when I was a kid. And I mean, the cartoon wasn't gory like the movie is, but it was very violent. And basically, they did this remake, they released a trailer, made sure everyone knew it was going to be, vulgar, crass, violent, all of these things, over the top as it could be. And everybody was really excited. And supposedly, there are some other larger actors that are going to be in this movie as well, who I don't want to spoil, but it sounded really cool. The director that they got is a really solid director. But basically, the news here is that it's looking like they're saying that the movie has been deemed unreleasable. And the thing is, this movie has been viewed. It got a lot of praise at one of the film festivals. I think it was Fantastic Fest. Yep, they note it right here. So it was, and here's the only image of the Toxic Avenger that we have seen thus far from what I gather. But basically, Fantastic Fest, it premiered. It did really well. It seems like it's very, retro and follows everything that they were promising. But basically, they're saying that according to a report by World of Real, the remake lives up to the name and is being called unreleasable due to an inability to find a game distributor despite some positive reviews. By critical reception is below exceptions, according to one producer who said it's too out there for theaters. And basically, I mean, in a sense, this is kind of not surprising, but on the same hand, this sounds like something that they should lean into, do a press run where they tell everybody that this movie is so ridiculous, so over the top that no studio can release it. They need to do that and not let just Bounding Into Comics write a story about this if they are actually having trouble. And right here it says, if it had great reviews, then maybe the forecast would be a little rousier. But there isn't much potential. It's too niche. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it on Tubi a few years from now. So, I mean, this is quite interesting and a little bit of a bummer because, good or bad, I want to see this movie. I want to see what it's all about. I want to see what kind of performance the Dink puts on. And, I think, like I was saying, I think they need to lean into the bad press. And then what they need to do is they need to sell it to Netflix or Amazon or somebody, and they need to lean into it and basically play into that same thing of like, this couldn't even come out in theaters. It was just not, everybody wanted to play it safe. This movie's so ridiculous, so over the top, and we're going to let you see it. We're going to be the studio. We're going to be the people that are going to release it to the public. Or even I could see someone like Lionsgate getting this too, because it's something that they would do. They really like these edgy over the top movies and hyper action violence. And I think that this could be a perfect move, even if it is very niche, because I think that they are underestimating the fervent nature of the people who like the old Troma films. Even just with them being bad, they still love them because of that. Because they were cheap, because they were over the top and ridiculous, because they did not care and had no boundaries. And I hope that that's what happens with this movie. I want to see it. Let's get this thing out. This is ridiculous. I want to spread the news and let people know that this is what's going around, because we want the Toxic Avenger unreleasable or not. That is just more of a reason for us to see it. Now, last bit of news that I was going to touch on was Jenna Ortega. I just found this absurd and really ridiculous. If you read the headline here, Jenna Ortega says, approaching everything I do with the confidence of the average white man changed my life and made me feel better. Now, opening up at the start of this, I claim that, she keeps things racist. And, in a sense, this is an absurd thing. It's the type of statement that we've been hearing lately. And, obviously, it doesn't offend me because, yes, I am a white man, but clearly at least marginally above average. So I'm not too worried about it. But this kind of statement would never fly if it was about any other race or any other demographic, period. It would not fly. But the fact is that these type of people feel completely okay just kind of hating on and bashing white men. It's been going on for years, and it's showing no signs of stopping, and they're wondering why Hollywood is collapsing, why everyone is over their shit. And excuse me, I try to keep the show clean, but the fact of the matter is that this is not cool. This is not okay. And basically what she says is that she has a cello instructor for when she did the Wednesday show. And basically the lady's advice was to tell her that she shouldn't feel nervous, she shouldn't feel worried, and that basically, I'll just read it here. So the show that I do right now, I have to play the cello. I don't play the cello, Orttega said. I want it to look real so that cellists don't look at me and call me mean names. My teacher told me that as long as I look confident in my movements, and I was strong and stoic and, fully embodied the character, that it would be fine. She told me that I just need to approach everything I do in life with the confidence of an average white man. That changed my life. That made me feel better. I bet it did make you feel better because you're a racist. So then followed up with that, she says, I was nervous even to do this interview because I ramble like crazy. Yes, you do. You should not have said this in public. Granted, the press loves it, and they love how people keep saying crap like this. Orttega added, like what I am going to talk about this whole time. Then I just remembered, how would an average white man do this? And he probably would have shown up with mismatched socks. So, I mean, I just don't... I don't understand this. I don't understand why they're okay with doing this type of thing. Obviously, they've been empowered to do it. I mean, we have seen in recent years that Hollywood is absurdly racist. And the funny thing is, they doubled down on their racism while claiming to fight it. And I mean, this is happening in industries all across, the world really right now. But yeah, I am constantly blown away when articles come out like this. And like I said, if it was about any other demographic, this would be, setting the world on fire, and she would be completely canceled and never make another film again. But because she's coming after white men, it's totally okay and it's totally safe. And, whatever. But this is just the rantings of a at least slightly above average white man. So, I just wanted to talk about it because I saw this article, I laughed and was like, this is so stupid. Why do these people keep saying stuff like this? And, once again, here we are. So, guys, that has been the news for today. I brought it to you hot and spicy. We got some crazy Borderlands stuff. This Michelle Pfeiffer stuff has me intrigued. The Toxic Avenger stuff, I just want to see this movie, even if it sucks. And granted, I mean, that's the thing, too, with even just talking about Peter Dinklage. He's made some mistakes over the past couple of years. I'm not all about canceling him. I want to see what he does. I want to see this movie. And I think he's still a good actor, even if in real life he's a bit of a douche. So, same for Jenna Ortega. Might be a douche, but I like some of the stuff she does. And I'm going to go see Beetlejuice, which she's going to be in. So whatever, keep envisioning yourself as an average white man, Jenna. Just keep on trucking with it. And guys, as always, like I said, make sure to visit criticless.com because it's my website. I helped, I didn't even help. How do you put that? I am the owner, CEO, founder. I didn't make it myself because I'm not the tech guy. I have an awesome team who helped me to make it and bring my ideas to life. So come check it out, leave some reviews, and as always, subscribe, like, comment. It helps us a ton. We love you guys. Make sure to check out our Borderlands review tomorrow, and we will see you then later.